Hello everyone, I'm Neyah and welcome back to my channel. In this pick a card, we're gonna find out where have you been in a past life. Keep in mind this is a general reading. For private reading, the link is down below, and also the link is down below to all my products, my books, and all that jazz in my tarot course. Now, obviously, it could be that you only had one lifetime on Earth, more than one, so just go with your gut feeling and pick how many deck you want to pick, because perhaps you want to look at more than just one past life. I already done a pick a card about past life, who you were in a past life and what is your karma, but in this pick a card we're gonna focus on where have you been. I'm a huge fan of history and ancient civilization, and I'm sure a lot of you guys really are eager to know, but where have I been? Where was the country? Where was the historical period? Obviously, keep in mind, again, this is a general reading. It's a bit of fun and entertainment because what it matters actually is the present moment. But it's a bit of fun to look in the past, into past life, of course, and obviously we gather a lot of interesting insights. So without further ado, let's get started, and I want you guys to pick how many decks you want to pick, and I'm going to start with number 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As usual, the timestamps are going to be down below. And let's get fun together. All right, let's get started. For those of you guys who choose pile number 1, where you were in a past life. And of course, I'm going to give you also my message and insights of what I can see through the cards. I put a little bit of oracle cards in the reading as well. So let's see. All right, pretty straightforward. We have ancient Greek and Roman. Very, very interesting. I hope you can see the card. This card could also indicate that you were in a historical period where, like for example, in Alexandria, which geographically speaking obviously was in ancient Egypt, but was the later years of ancient Egypt where a crossover of culture was prominent, such as Romans, ancient Greek, and obviously ancient Egyptian. So just fit the message where it needs to fit. And if you don't like this particular geographical or historical position, it could be also that you had a traumatic experience into this past life, and so that's why you were never interested in this particular historical period. Believe it or not, that can happen. But I'm seeing ancient Romans for you guys, or in ancient Greek. Then we have the 4 of Swords, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. We also have sacred space, which makes a lot of sense considering that in the ancient Romans and ancient Greek society was full of temple in the agora, and they were celebrating multiple gods. We also have Mercury, which is an ancient Roman and ancient Greek god. It's open communication. Get a weight off your chest, speak up with love, and be heard. So Mercury was the god of communication, and in ancient Egyptian, Mercury was actually Thoth, the god of the scripture. In fact, it is said, and I am convinced, that Thoth was simply transmuted into Mercury later on with the Romans. But you could have been like a high priest in ancient Greek or ancient Rome, but definitely with that 4 of Swords energy, which is all an energy of meditation and going inward and taking a rest, plus the sacred space. I'm definitely seeing you as someone that had psychic abilities, or that you were a devotee of a particular god in a particular pantheon, which you were a devotee of Thoth if you were following the ancient Egyptian belief system in Alexandria, or you were a devotee of Mercury. You were probably also a high priest or a high priestess that were talking to people, and through your channeling you were communicating the words of the divine. This is what I'm seeing, and it's definitely very interesting. Now, what you need to know right now is to not be afraid to communicate your art, your passion, and to communicate what actually you believe, and also could be to expand your third eye and your psychic ability if they're still dormant, because they come from a past life, and this particular past life. Now, obviously, if you have your throat chakra blocked, then the suggestion for those of you guys who choose pile number 1 is to do a meditation to clean your throat chakra and call in the energy of Mercury and the god Thoth to help you in your communication and also writing skill. You could be a motivational speaker in this lifetime, or somebody that deals with communication, whether it's social media, YouTube, or journalism, or anything that it's ruled by Mercury. In fact, we have the swords, which are Gemini, Libra, Air and Aquarius, which are the element of air that it's governed by Mercury for the most part and governs the communication. You could also have been a philosopher in an ancient past life considering this, but for the majority of you, I will say definitely ancient, I would say definitely high priest or high priestess, considering that we have the sacred space. And also I am seeing that lighting candles, doing ritual, full moon rituals in your bed, in your room, cleansing your space, having a sacred space within your home, or going to temples is something that your soul will cherish a lot, because it comes from, again, this past life where you're very dedicated to the gods, or very dedicated to the divine in general. And you could be a very good channeler as well too, or a good communicator in this lifetime, however it plays out for you in this incarnation. So this is what I'm seeing. It's definitely very interesting. If you don't know a lot about ancient Greek or ancient Romans, by the way, I am Italian, or for some of you, you could have been even a gladiator in some cases for ancient Roman. That could be. But if you were a gladiator, I don't think you lived a very long time. I think you have a very short lifetime, and you were very dedicated in spreading the truth, because we have, again, Mercury, which is all about communication. So if you were a gladiator, you were somebody that was incarnated there but socially involved in some way, even though it sounds crazy. So that could play out as well. And I mean, if you don't know a lot about ancient Roman, ancient Greek, I would highly suggest you to dive deeper into those two historical periods, and perhaps even visit Italy or ancient Greek if you want, or maybe you will have this in mind and you will definitely do it in this incarnation. All right, this is what I got for you guys. Comment down below. I always love to hear your stories, especially if you're talking about past life. And keeping in mind that I also offer past life reading. You just have to visit my Etsy shop, subscribe to the channel to have more spiritual insights, and pick a cards. And see you next time. All right, let's move on. For those of you guys who choose panel number 2, where you were in a past life. All right, right on. We have gospel episode. So you were with Jesus, no joke, or with some character in the Bible. So either you reject completely Christ consciousness, you reject completely the teaching of the Bible, you're actually really, really mad at what those teachings had done to humanity in essence, or you're very close to them. Obviously, I'm just an observer, I'm just a reader, I don't judge anything, don't worry about it. Whatever is your belief system, for me, that's fine. I am just saying that it could play out differently for different people. But definitely you could be, even if you are consciously rejecting a religion, or you are rejecting a particular prophet, that doesn't mean that you're not connected to this consciousness. You are, because you've been there with this person. Now we also have the Ace of Wands. We have Ishtar, boundaries, very, very interesting. And then we also have Master Buddha, increased awareness, deep connection, and trust your inner voice. So I am seeing, to be honest with you, the Ascended Master that could be close to you will be Christ consciousness for sure, Moses for sure, and also Master Buddha, which, by the way, they go hand in hand. I noticed but through many channelers that they always talk about Christ consciousness next to Buddha for some reason, even though they are pretty different and they come from different religion. But somehow through channeling, at least from what I know, I could be completely wrong, so please guys, just comment down below to share your stories. I mean, I'm open to everything. But these two presence, these two consciousness come together very often. But anyway, this is what I heard. But in a past life, you were definitely dealing with some of these figures. You were in Palestine, probably. You were in Israel. You were in the Middle East. And something has happened. I feel you don't have a huge... I think for some of you guys, you might have been really involved with Christ and Jesus, but at the same time, and it probably hearing Christ consciousness lights you up. You believe in miracle, you're a miracle worker, you have read A Course in Miracle and all of that jazz. But for some of you, for the majority of you, I feel like you almost rejected religion. I don't know why, but I have this strong sensation with the boundaries card. Because for you, religion, again, I'm not judging. I really am not. I'm just reading what I'm seeing. But I think for you, religion is something that must be overcome for some reason. Like spirituality is what calls you the most, and you're actually, because you were there, you're kind of angry again, like I said, with what religion is fine. I mean, religion was born simply to understand who we are and to connect to the divine. But I think you are angry because of the structure that religion has put through the centuries until it became like an organized thing where people have to necessarily respect rules or the priest or this and that, and it just went too far ahead from the soul. It's just too far from your soul, and you don't like that because you remember those prophets. You have been with them, you have been connected with them directly, and you're like, this is not what they used to teach. This is not how it was back then. It was the words of people. It was actually, Christ was talking with the poor. Christ was talking with the outcast. He wasn't afraid of anything. He was gathering around people through love and light and through his metaphors as well. So this is what I'm seeing. So for you, you are having this huge increase of awareness in this incarnation. You probably are an old soul. Now we also have in Hindu, with the Ace of Staves, we have the three gods, which are Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, which are the most important gods in Hinduism. So I am seeing that actually, for me, you have been in a gospel episode. You've definitely been in the Middle East, but you are connected with a lot of different religion. That's what I'm seeing. You're connected with more than just once. You've been an old soul, and for you, everything is an interpretation of the same thing, which is source, which is we belong to the same source. I believe in love, I believe in the light. And I'm seeing very deep souls for those of you who choose group number 2. Now, when it comes down also to the boundaries, I'm seeing Pisces for the majority of you, because Pisces is a sign, especially if you have it as a rising sign, that needs to understand through sufferings the ways of love in order for them to share it with the world. Because Pisces is ruled by the 12th house in Neptune, so it's all about that connection with source. It's all about that connection with spirit. That's why I'm seeing Pisces for many of you, and also Sagittarius, because Sagittarius, at least in Vedic astrology, is a very spiritual, high spiritual sign, even though maybe in Western astrology it's not interpreted as that, but I do interpret Sagittarius very drawn to spirituality, and they gather divine knowledge very, very easily. Then with the boundaries card, because you could be also a heart chakra person, you are so much about the ways of love and spreading love to others and miracle consciousness as well, that you have to understand also boundaries, meaning not how to say no, because I don't think you are that type of person, but when to say yes, meaning when do you need to invest your energy, and especially with what people you need to invest your energy, and balance that out. And sometimes, cut it off when you cannot do it, because it's totally fine and you shouldn't feel guilty about it. So these are all the message that I'm seeing and I'm receiving for you, and definitely gospel episode is your card and is your historical period. Comment down below to share your stories, tell me more about it, what do you guys think. If you want, choose another pile if this didn't resonate, or you want to know about another past life, and subscribe to the channel to have more pico cards and insights about spirituality and a lot more. Okay, let's move on for those of you guys who choose pile number 3, where you were in a past life. Alright, interesting. Very, very, very interesting. So you are the only pile that never incarnated on Earth. So you are a starseed. Welcome on planet Earth. I imagine, like, in the future, I probably saw a movie on Netflix where people were waking up and they were like, welcome to planet Earth. In this lifetime, this is what you're going to do. How fantastic will be that? Like, welcome to planet Earth. Anyway, I'm a bit weird. And yeah, galaxy, you're connected to a star system. You're a total star seed. You feel, I want to go home. What the heck is going on in this planet? Where am I? I'm even afraid to go out sometimes because humans are weird, they're dangerous, they're all about violence, why they're so involved in their emotion. You're very detached, and for you, if you're very young, you're still overwhelmed by this energy. By the way, read the books about Dolores Cannon, because they might help you. And you feel like really reality is an hologram, and sometimes you're like, why the heck in here? This time-space reality is so slow, because you are more used to a dimension where there is no space and time, so where everything gets manifested immediately simply because you think about it. And for you here, everything goes so slow. These are what starseed really feel. And sometimes when starseed don't really understand who they are, because once I received a comment when they said, oh, starseed, they're all about love and enlightenment, and so they will never think that other people or humans are idiots. Now, if you read the book of Dolores Cannon and you read the past life regression of this starseed, these souls that are incarnated on Earth, you will hear all sorts of stuff, and especially the frustration that these souls have. And it's not because they are bad, they are judging humans or they are judging this incarnation. The soul doesn't judge. The soul comes from a point of observation. It's that they are very straightforward, they're very honest, and so they're like, why people take so much time to learn stuff? We just don't get it. They're idiots. They're frustrated because it's not that they're bad, but they don't understand how humans work, because this is their first incarnation and they have volunteered to come here. Now, obviously, this happens when they're frustrated. This happens when they cannot figure out their life purpose. But obviously, like that comment, I don't remember who it was that said they're all about love and enlightenment. That obviously happens when they finally understand that they are light workers for the majority of the part, and they're here to bring in awareness, and they have a purpose, even though it might not seem so immediate to understand for them, especially at the beginning of their incarnation here on Earth. So bear with me, because they have emotion too, even though they seem very detached. Obviously, this is a very Aquarian energy, if you were thinking about a sign. And we also have Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio with the 6 of Lotuses or 6 of Cups. We have Mother Mary, expect a miracle, and Kali, facing fear. So yeah, I feel that you guys have never incarnated on Earth. You belong to a star constellation. Now, looking and judging on this card, judging the type of constellation where you come from will be very difficult, because I don't see anything in particular. And remember, even when people talk about Sirians, Pleiadians, and all this star system, those are just a label and some star system that have been discovered through channeling. But I am sure that there are a lot more that we don't know about. So that's why I'm never really too focused whether you are Pleiadian, Sirians, or this and that, because I don't think that is necessary. It doesn't help. It doesn't help anyone to be grounded and to understand that, okay, you might be perhaps a starseed, you might be perhaps someone that has lived in other planets and constellation, but now you're human. So, creating an entire fantasy about other worlds, I think it's pretty unhealthy. I want to be very honest with you. It's good to know, it's interesting to know, and I think if you have the capacity to channel other civilization, go for it. It's fantastic, but then remember that you have chosen to be human for a reason. And there is a reason in a human experience. And this has to do with the message that I'm hearing for you guys with facing fear. This is about facing the fear of dealing with all this emotion that you're not used to deal with. Yes, sure, humans and this planet can be very chaotic, very violent, and people have a long way to understand and wake up. But still, this planet is beautiful. I'm such a huge fan of Earth, and that's why, probably because I'm a Taurus, but that's why I was never interested in other constellation or star system, because humans, think about it, they have this stuff about them that we can give our best even at our worst. Actually, when the worst is happening, we give the best and we share humanity like there is no tomorrow, and we really are loving creatures, that we help others when we come from the ways of love. We really can embrace love, and we can become love in this incarnation. So I think this planet is amazing. The beauty of this planet is amazing. And when we face our fear and we start to look in the positive that we have over here, rather than always complain, oh my God, this planet's so slow, oh my God, this is not happening, oh my God, why people don't get it. When we just pushed away those thoughts because they don't help us and they don't help others, we remember why we have chosen this incarnation. And it's beautiful, and miracles happen, like Mother Mary is saying. Now, expect miracles, I think, is because you are going to meet someone in this incarnation that is another star seed, or perhaps even more than just, you are going to connect with your soul family, because they are here too and they have volunteered too. So this sense of loneliness that you might have felt since you were a child will end pretty soon, if it didn't already, and this is a miracle on its own. And you're definitely here as a pillar of light to raise the vibration of the planet, and you are of great contribution, and you are greatly loved by consciousness, by the collective consciousness. So this is what I'm seeing. You belong to the galaxy, you belong to the star, like we all do at the end of the day. All right. Now, let's move on for those of you guys who choose panel number 4, where you were in a past life. All right, Native American. Okay, we have the Queen of Cups, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, and she is Rati, one of the most sensual goddess, and I think it's the goddess of Kama Sutra as well, or the Tantric tradition for sure. Let me know in the comment section down below if you know more about Rati. Then we have Isis and past life. And we also have Mary Magdalene, the teacher awakens. So I think you are one of those groups that is an old soul. Definitely you have been, listen, you have been a Native American, you have been in ancient Egypt, you have been in a gospel episode, and potentially you have been in India as well. So this is going to be for you that chose panel number 4, a bit of all your lifetimes in just one pile, on the contrary of the other ones that I'm seeing. And I'm going to be very straightforward, because we have 3 powerful goddesses, or 3 powerful ascended masters, plus the Native American card. Now, the Native American card could also indicate that you were a native somewhere in ancient Egypt, India as well. But obviously this is your prominent lifetime. So you have to see if you are attracted by this historical period and by that culture as well. And you have to see, because sometimes, when I received my Native American card for the first time and they told me that I had a past life as a Native American, I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't resonate. Then I had a past life regression and I saw my lifetime as a Native American without even thinking that I had that reading, to be honest. I saw it, and for me still, I couldn't get it. Like, it just couldn't resonate. I was like, maybe this is my mind making this up, because it was something that I just wasn't feeling it. Ancient Egypt, sure, but I wasn't feeling that. Then when I went to my dad and I told him about my past life, he said, because I saw my dad in that past life, I told him, he said, wow, you don't believe it. Like, he has pictures of Native Americans all over his bedrooms, and he said, I was obsessed with the Native Americans when I was a child. I thought I was one of them. And I feel sometimes when we don't resonate with certain lifetimes, it's more because maybe for us they weren't that significant, but for our soul family, for the people around us, we receive the message so we can give the message to them. And believe it or not, that can happen. And so you have to see if the message fit. You are a very lovable person, you're very essential, you're all about awakening your potential, I am seeing, and definitely you're very interested about past life regression and discovering more about past life with the Isis card. You could be very attracted with female goddesses and you don't understand the ways of the masculine. You're very, very feminine, probably you have an exalted moon somewhere in your chart. And the Mary Magdalene card to me indicates this femininity, but also indicates that you are a natural born teacher and you want to spread the words of sacred sexuality, feminine power and awaken the divine feminine as well. You could have been obviously a medicine woman as a Native American looking at this card, or definitely an ancient priestess of devotee of Osset. And yeah, this is pretty much what I'm seeing. And even if you relate to Christ consciousness, you relate more to the consciousness of Mary Magdalene, which is quite a bit different energy, to be honest, than Christ consciousness. Yes, they are together. Yes, it's similar, but it's different. Mary Magdalene has a very different way. If you look at the channelers from Mary Magdalene, has a very, very unique and different way to express her own consciousness. And it's pretty much, there is a book called the Mary Magdalene Manuscript that is a channel book that talks about that she was an ancient priestess of devotee of Osset, and she was teaching Christ consciousness about sacred sexuality. Now, whether this is true or not, I don't know, but it's definitely a very interesting book that I advise you, all of you, to read, which is the Mary Magdalene Manuscript. You can find it on Amazon as well. And I'm seeing you are very much into that. You're very much, you could be into Tantra as well, which is pretty much the same thing. It's the sacred sexuality. Now in that book is stated as the sacred sexuality of Osset and Oris. And but also there is this vibe in Native Americans, but I feel that card doesn't resonate fully with you. You're going to find out maybe through a past life regression, or it could be that resonates with you. You have to tell me in the comment section down below. This is what I'm seeing for you guys. So subscribe to the channel to have more pick-up cards and insights about spirituality and self-development, and I'll wait you here for the next pick-up card. Alright, let's move on. For those of you guys who choose pile number 5, where you were in a past life. Alright, so this pile might resonate also for those of you who choose pile number 4, so you might just look into it, but you were in ancient Egypt. I love it. I love it. You were near the pyramids, near the greatest pharaoh of all times, and the great queens. Beautiful, beautiful. Near the desert, the 7 of Wands. Then we have the bodies of water. And we also have the Miriam, which are the angels of twin flames. Very, very interesting. I feel for those of you guys who choose pile number 5, you have been with your twin flame in ancient Egypt. Considering this card, you had a sacred vision. You could have been a high priest and a high priestess. And this reminds me a lot of one of my favorite books from Brian Weiss that is called Only Love is Real. You can find it on Amazon, I'm sure. And that particular book is about soulmates, or rather twin soul, reuniting together in each and every lifetimes. And the first lifetimes, I think, if I'm correct, that they had was in ancient Egypt. And they were brother and sister. And they were a high priest and a high priestess in ancient Egypt. That's very, very much like it. Even though they were twin soul, they were brother and sister in that lifetime. And I'm seeing that potentially you are in separation with your twin flame. You talked with this person through your dreams and telepathic communication, but at the same time, you don't want to give up on this person, and you've been separated for quite a while. This is what I'm seeing. You weren't together, like I think you were separated for various centuries, actually. You obviously are no soul. You're all about spirituality, knowledge, and the divine. And I feel you like to be around water. You like transformation, you like change, and you like to do baths and rituals with bath and with water. You talk with water. You have a very good relationship with water, which is absolutely amazing, because people that don't have a good relationship with water actually they handle their body very badly, considering that we are basically made of water for the most part. But I'm seeing you could also use manifestation techniques through water. You just speak to water. You are grateful to water, and water is your element. So obviously I'm seeing Aries, Leo, Sag, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, and it has to do with love and this romance that happened in ancient Egypt. And if it's not romantic, you have met this person in Egypt, and that for you was the most significant life. And also I am seeing that in this lifetime you're going to go to ancient Egypt again, and you have made almost a vow with the gods or whoever you believe in, and you have said, when I'm gonna find that person, that is the person that's gonna lead me to Egypt. And because you have made this vow, you are going to do it. Maybe in your honeymoon, who knows? But you're going to do it because that's where you meet, and you're going to be even more activated when you're going to be near the pyramids or whatever, near a temple. So this is beautiful. Obviously with ancient Egypt comes divine knowledge, comes extreme wisdom. That's what I'm seeing. A lot of people that have been incarnated in ancient Egypt, they have great wisdom and they want to share it, and they are teaching. Look at a guy that is here on YouTube like Infinite Waters. Infinite Waters was incarnated in ancient Egypt. I don't know if he has said this in one of his videos, but I just know. I mean, you can tell by the way he is and by his vibration. If you look at his video, it's pretty visible. And he's a teacher. He's a motivational speaker, and he teaches people, because a lot of people that have been incarnated in such an ancient civilization that was so far ahead of their times, they carry divine knowledge with them. Same goes for those who were incarnated in Atlantis. In fact, there is this belief, which I agree, and even Plato agrees with me, the ancient philosopher, that the majority of people of Atlantis migrate in ancient Egypt, and that's why they were such an advanced civilization. So all of this is true for you, and this is what I am seeing. So definitely being around rivers and water will be very, very significant for you. And I'm seeing you are all, there is a twin thing going on. You could have been pregnant in that lifetime with 2 babies that were twins probably, and obviously the Nile and remembrance of the Nile and of the river. Being around water makes you feel good, makes you feel like you are coming back home. Meditating near rivers will be immensely positive for you guys, because it will remind you of that lifetime, that divine connection that you had established in ancient Egypt. Beautiful. Beautiful. Also, I'm seeing color blue being very present, and green, but blue-green, meaning turquoise, which was the color that they were actually using for makeup. It wasn't the blue, it was the turquoise, because it comes from a particular stone, and they were placing them in their eyelids, and then plus they were using kajal on top, and red lipstick that was created through henna. I know everything about ancient Egypt, I love it. So this is what I'm seeing, and I hope you're going to be reunited with your twin soul in this lifetime. Comment down below to share your stories, and also subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you want to have more pick-up cards about anything that you want, actually drop a comment down below to tell me what you want to hear on this channel, because I always love to hear from you guys. Let's move on for those of you guys who choose pile number 6, where you were in a past life. All right, you were in Asia. Now Asia, this card, I don't like this card because it's kind of reductive. Like, I mean, you were in Asia. Asia, it's a massive piece of land, and there is so much more. Like, I mean, Asia, where in the Middle East, or you were in India, or you were in Persia. Like, I mean, I kind of don't like this card, and I would have preferred that during Virtue or Brian Weiss would have put much more specific cards when it comes down to Asia, but never mind. That's what we got. I'm gonna think about doing a past life deck probably, and putting each and every country so we know. But anyway, take it only if it resonates with you and you've been incarnating in Asia, which could be India, Middle East, Persia. You could have been in China, you could have been in Japan. Honestly, you could have been anywhere, so just fit the message where it needs to fit. Then we have the World card, which is Shiva, dancer, the dancing Shiva. Then we have Easy Does It as well, and we have Krishna. Now, obviously, looking at Krishna, Shiva, and the Asia card, I think you were in India. You were in India, you could have been a devotee of Shiva, you could have been a yogi, or you could have been a devotee of Krishna. Whatever resonates with you most. So now, obviously, this is going to be for a lot of you guys, but you were a very spiritual person, that's for sure, looking at these cards. You could have been potentially travel a lot through the entire country. I mean, India is massive. And spreading some words, that's what I'm seeing. I don't see that you had a very huge sense of romance or romantic life. You are more dedicated to isolation and going within and meditation or yoga on his own. But I feel that in this lifetime you have to ease down a little bit. Like, you can be very knowledgeable, but what the angels, or rather what I'm hearing from spirit, is that in this lifetime you are allowed to enjoy this life a little bit more. Like, not everything needs to be so damn serious, and especially not in every single incarnation. You have done it, you learn from it, and obviously this card, the Krishna card, indicates trust your spiritual guidance, which means that you could be psychic as well, or you could have insight to divine knowledge. Your commitment has been recognized. You are loved unconditionally. Your commitment has been recognized. So, like, I mean, you have done nothing wrong. You have good karma on your side. You have put good efforts, you still are meditating. I think you're still on a spiritual path. Just chill out, you know. He's telling you it's fine to also have humans experiences. It's fine not to be all the time so concentrated in becoming such an enlightened person. I mean, it's okay. It's okay to be grounded. Your devotion has been, and your commitment has been recognized. So don't worry. I feel for those of you guys who choose this pile, it's more about this is your time to shine, be in the world present. This is your time to enjoy Earth, to travel, to really express yourself, rather to always go within. Go within. Going within is amazing, because through meditation you discover the multidimensionality of your soul from within. But then it has to come also into fruition through the things that you do. So just be okay with that. Be okay that you can express yourself also creatively. Could be dance that is involved as well, or simply your passion, and just follow your passion knowing that you are supported. This is what I'm seeing, and this is where you were in a past life. Comment down below to share your stories and tell me if this resonated with you or not, if you have any suggestion for other pico cards, and if you're new, subscribe to the channel, because I post really a lot about spiritual insights, self-development, and obviously your pico cards. Okay, let's move on. For those of you guys who choose pile number 7, where you were in a past life. All right, we have Celtic lands showing up. We also have the Page of Wands, interesting. Then we have Hathor, and we have Radha, Soul Flame. This might resonate also for those of you guys who choose pile number 6, if you want to take a look. But this is like this. You were a Viking. This is what I'm seeing. You were a Viking, and if you know something about the Vikings, comment down below, of course. But then you know that they were great adventurers. They were going all over the place. They even arrived in America. They have been everywhere, literally. But the Vikings didn't colonize anything, because they weren't interested in doing that. You are a wild spirit. You've been in England, or you're from Britain, in Ireland. You are a Viking. You come from the Celtic lands, and probably you are inspired by the runes and certain system of divination and certain gods that are associated with paganism and witchcraft, and Wicca comes from also that type of tradition, which is absolutely great. But I'm seeing that you also love traveling, because you have been traveling a lot. You have been traveling potentially to Egypt. I don't know if the Vikings arrived in Egypt. I don't know. I have to check. I have to be honest with you. I love history, but I don't know everything about history. And you have been traveling a lot, because I'm seeing Egypt over here and India. So now, whether maybe you have a desire to go to these places, or you are Egyptian or you're Indian, this could be, or you have been there in past lives as well. So just fit the message where it needs to fit. Well, the Page of Wands is a foreigner. The Page of Wands for me is the foreigner of the deck. When I'm seeing this card, I'm seeing young people. There are adventurers. They want to travel. They want to deal with foreign lands. They're going to conquer foreign lands. This is a very much an energy of the 11th house. You probably have a very strong sign or planet sitting in your 11th house. It's because that comes from a past life. You have been an adventurous person, and you have been, for me, a Viking. Someone that was out there in the wild and really fearless of discovering new things, and not even conquering lands, but just go out there and be there and discovering, and then going back home and gather all that great adventure that you had. This is what I'm seeing for you guys. You are very receptive to new culture. You're very receptive to foreigners and to foreign land. And also you always follow your own passion with that soul flame. And through traveling, you discover parts of yourself and you discover the oneness of all that is. So it's not that you're not spiritual, but you are this is a very masculine energy, even if you're a female. But this is an energy of I discover myself through my experience. Through living this lifetime, I can create more and I know more about myself. And that's why I'm seeing that you've been in Celtic lands, or definitely you were a Viking. This is what I'm seeing for you guys. So comment down below to share your stories. And if you're new, make sure to subscribe to this channel to have more pick-up cards, spiritual insights, and video on self-development and everything that I post on this channel. All right. Okay, let's move on. For those of you guys who choose pile number 8, where you were in a past life. All right, ancient souls, very, very ancient soul. You could be a star seed as well, belonging to Sirian's constellation. You have a lifetime, or also the Pleiadians. You have a lifetimes in Atlantis. Why I'm saying Sirians? Because I'm seeing water and dolphins. You could be very attracted to those animals, or those animals are your spirit or totem animal. I'm gonna make a video about it, don't worry. Then we have the Ace of Swords, which is awakening, illumination, and new beginnings and communication. We also have Cordelia, go outside, and the Holy Spirit, expect miracle. This is amazing. You guys are the most ancient soul among all the other choices. You are here to bring awareness to others. You are a miracle worker, and you love to go outside. You may be thinking about, oh, maybe I should do YouTube. Maybe you are on YouTube, but somehow you think, but that's not my thing. Like, I want to communicate with people. I want to be in front of people. I don't want to be in front of a camera, which is totally fine. It's just different from what other people are doing right now. You want to counsel people. You want to be near them. You want to share your knowledge. You want to share your wisdom. Now, you might not believe in Atlantis. I just suggest you to look into Plato and what he has said about Atlantis. You could have been afraid of water, because obviously if you have dealt with the flood, that was a bit traumatic, wasn't it? And then it has to do also with channeling. You're a good channeler, or you are a good reader. You do tarot reading. You are connected with the dimensions, the 5th dimensions, which is the dimension that tells you a little bit the pathways of the future, a little bit, quite a bit. And there is something magical that is going to happen in your life in this incarnation, and you are not going to expect this. This is a reward for your good, for what you have done and what you're doing, because I'm seeing that for you everything is always quite hard. I am seeing that sometimes you carry a heavy burden because you're like, why other people get instant recognition and I always have to struggle, I always have to work hard, I feel like very tired while I'm picking up this energy. But it's okay, because your commitment has been recognized, and there is a miracle coming up, which is going to be very unexpected and from a source that comes out of nowhere, out of the blue. You have been here quite a while, so that's why you have this sense of tiredness, but definitely your place was Atlantis, and also the stars, the Syrian constellation. That's what I'm picking up, that's what I'm seeing. Comment down below to share your stories and tell me more about yourself. I always love to hear from you guys, and if you're new, make sure to subscribe to this channel to have more pick-up cards and spiritual video and insights on this channel. All right, thank you so much, you guys, for being here with me today. See you next time, and keep in mind, you're never wrong if you follow love. Bliss, everyone.